Hello, it's Jess, or JashiiCorrin, and today we're going to be having a bit of a closer look at my month in review spreads and how those have evolved since I started them last year. This spread here is my month in review for January, but before we have a more detailed look at this, I'm going to give you guys a look at the origins of this spread and how I actually came to build this from my first month in review. Before we jump in, any inspiration that I had in making these spreads, and also any of the equipment, will be linked in the description box below. So September 2017 was my first iteration of my month in review. I took inspiration for this from Cindy over at Llama's Love Lettering, and I copied this spread directly from what I saw on one of her videos. So as you can see, we have this section over here which has my tasks completed in the month, things that were coming up for the future, things that were still in progress, and then goals for October. At the top of this page we have my social media tracking and how many followers or subscribers I had at the end of that month. We have accomplishments that I had during the month, events that were big, things I was proud of, challenges that I faced, and then things that I wanted to try in October. Overall, I did really like this spread, but even when I was filling it out the first time, I could see that there were probably things that I was going to want to change. That being said, when it came to October, I didn't really change anything at all. So we still had the same general layout, except a little bit of a change in the spacing because I wanted to include some washi tape to tie in with my monthly theme for October. November, however, is where I did change it up, and this is the layout that I've been using since. For the sake of completion, here's December as well. One small change that I did make in December though, was that this section was more of a goodbye to 2017 rather than a things to try, which I've had on both November's and January's review. Cool, so now we have January. The way this spread works is that it's broken down into several sections that are mostly focused on looking back at the month that has passed and trying to set some goals for the month that's coming up. I'll start with the simpler to explain sections and move into the more difficult ones. On the right hand side here, at the top we have a money in and money out section. This is where I just put the totals of my spending and income for the month, and then a section that just tells me what the overall total was. After that we have my memories and accomplishments for the month, which are somewhat similar to the boxes I had in the first iteration of my month in review. Underneath this we have my bullet journal section where I can put things that I did and didn't like in my bullet journal for the month that has passed. Following this we also have one key lesson that I learnt from the month that has been. So for this month I learnt that it is much easier to stay focused when working on the computer when I have the Stay Focused Google extension enabled on Chrome. Following this we have my social media tracker, which I changed up from being just an overall number for the end of the month to what the start and end was, and then a section for my growth. And as mentioned previously, I have a little section to put down things that I want to try in the month coming up. Moving over to the left hand side here, this is a section for my best and worst habits for the month. I take the data for this from my monthly habit tracker. So as you can see, for January, I said that my best habit was meditation. If we go and have a look at my habit tracker, you can see that for the meditation column, this has the most boxes filled in. As you can also see, my chore completion was relatively low, and that has gotten it a place on my worst habits for the month. The section I typically get the most questions about is this one here. This section is based on the Level 10 Life, which you can find more information about in the book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. The way I've used it is that I have 10 different categories, and I have my accomplishments for each of those for the month, and the goals that I have for the month following. They are friends and family, personal development, spirituality, finances, career, I'm a teacher, thus the apple, leisure, giving and contributing, physical environment, health and well-being, and my relationship with my partner. I find that this spread as a whole gives a really nice way to wrap up the end of each month. It also gives me a little bit more focus for the month that's coming. For instance, for the month of January, I was really pleased that I got to attend a whole bunch of social events before the craziness of term 1 started back. For my goal for February, I'm hoping that I don't let the craziness of school actually stop me from getting more social time with my friends. Some of the memories that I had from this month included my best friend's engagement, and thus her engagement party, and also going and seeing The Greatest Showman, which is totally awesome and I fully recommend going and watching. In my bullet journal, I totally loved being able to do my orange color theme and using these mini washi borders to section off the month in my journal. Throughout the month, I also decided there were a few more things that I wanted to keep track of, and I had a place to write those down by having this to try section. That's all for today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or feels, please do put them in the comments section below, and I'll be back on Thursday with another weekly plan with me. Alright, bye!